Hello guys. Now in this video I'll be sharing the areas you should concentrate more on in your SAT examination or in preparation for your SAT examination. So for those of you that are not subscribed to my channel, I'm saying please hit that subscription button, click it, click the subscription button for you to get great content like this and more. Now let's jump right into it. Now, basically, SAT is categorized, SAT maths particularly. I'm talking about the mathematics aspect of SAT, not the read and write, which is English. So, SAT for maths is categorized or divided into um, four sections. So we have the first one, which is algebra. Now, in algebra, the knowledge you're supposed to have is knowledge of analysis, knowledge to solve linear equations and inequalities, as well as system of equations. That's for algebra. You develop and you analyze these things. Now, the next is what? The next is advanced mathematics, where you create, interpret, or solve varieties or problem types such as quadratic equation, polynomial operations, or absolute value equations. And the third category is problem solving and data analysis. Now, in this particular area, you focus more on what? Ratios, rates, proportion, unit conversion, calculation of percentage, and you analyze some variables. You infer the data and evaluate the claim. And finally, the last category is geometry and trigonometry. Geometry and trigonometry, where you focus on areas, perimeters, volume, angles, triangle, and trigonometry, and so on. Now, to recap this main point, I just decided to write the individual topics and the sub areas. For basic algebra, the first one is linear function, the second is single variable equation, the third is system of linear equation, the fourth is absolute value. Now, the second is what? Advanced algebra. The first is what? Manipulating polynomials, quadratic equation. The second is the third is dividing polynomials. The fourth is exponential function. Fifth is what? Function notation. And finally, solving exponential equation. Now, away from that, we move to what? Problem solving and data analysis. The first, like I said, like I read earlier, is what? Ratio and proportion, scattered plot and graph, categorical data and probabilities, experimental interpretation, mean, median, mode, standard deviation. And that's all for that. Now, the additional topic or the last category, which I said is geometry and trigonometry. We have coordinate geometry, which centered on lines and slope. Then the next one is on non-linear function. We have geometry or circle geometry. We have lines and angles, solid geometry, trigonometry, triangles and polygons, trigonometry and complex number, and that's all. So now, if you notice, or if you follow me clearly, you discover that the first thing I mentioned is what? Basic algebra. And from basic algebra, I now have what? Advanced algebra. So algebra is like more than 50% of the questions that are going to be out or that you're going to see on that very day. The question you're going to see on that very day, algebra is like 50% of it. So it is logical for you to focus more on algebra and advanced algebra, such that you have that 50% already. Then you can deal with the other aspect also. Now, mind you, Rome is not built in one day. So constant practice is the key to success. Constant practice is the key to success. So let's now. So like I said, earlier, I said I have a few questions, few simple basic questions that I want us to look at together. As half plus 4x is equal to minus x plus 2. What is the value of x? So here we're asked to find the value. We're asked to find the value of x. Find the value of x where the question is 1 over 2 plus 4x equal to minus x plus 2. Okay. Now, what we're going to do here is just to collect like terms. We just collect like terms, meaning that this meets this person, this one. That's minus x cross to what meets 4x. And as it's crossing, since the sign is what negative there, it changes to what positive. The sign changes to what positive. And likewise, this one crosses to meet what this. So half or 1 over 2 crosses to what meet 2. So let's rearrange this. So we finally have what? We have 4x plus x now is equal to what? 2 minus 1 over 2. Now this is minus here because this one is plus. This one is minus here because what? This is plus at this part. So 4x plus x gives us what? 5x equal to. Now 1 over 2, 2 minus 1 over 2 is the same thing as saying that you just say 2 minus half, right? 2 minus half or 2 minus 0.5 is just 1.5. It's 1.5. So here is 3 over 2. Now since we have x here, we have to divide through by what? 5 to make x stand alone. Divide through by 5. So we're dividing this by what? Divide by 5. So this is like 5 over 1. Now this goes. And we finally have x to be equal to what? 3 over 2. Now, in this particular situation, right, all we need to do is what? To change the sign to multiplication. And how do we do that? We take the denominator up and bring the numerator down. So this sign changes. So we have multiplication sign here. We have 1 over what? 5. And this is basically what? 3 all over. Now, this times this gives us what? 10. So this is 3 over 10. So let me go back to the options. Let's look at what we have there. So the first one said x is equal to 3 over 10. The second one said x is. So this is our answer. This is our answer. Okay. So the second question reads that in 2019, the population of the city of Detroit was approximately 670,000. The land area of the city of Detroit is approximately 138.7 square meter. Which of the following is closest to the population density of the city of Detroit in 2019 in people per square meter? Now, recall that the formula, this is data analysis or this is statistics. The formula for population density let me call it population D, is equal to population divided by the land area. Now, moreover, it is given to us, the formula here is given to us that which of the following is closest to the population density of the city of Detroit in 2019 in people per, that means people population per square meter, that's land area. So everything here is just basically what? Simple and clear. So we have 670,000, 670, 1, 2, 3, all divided by 1,138.7 square meters. So if you divide this, you are going to get 4830.5 and so on. So if you approximate, you have 4831, right? That means to the nearest whole number. So that is that. So you can see the answer is what? C here. So this is just the formula. Population density is equal to population divided by what? Land area. And that's all to this particular question. So click on that subscription button if you've not done that already, so that you get great content like this and more and more and more and more. Now, this is an advanced maths practice. There's a function here. The function says that f of x is equal to 10 open bracket 1.08 to the power of what? X. Now we're going to look at this particular question. We're going to look at this question like we have y to be equal to what? ab to the power of x, where b is equal to what? 1.08, and our a is equal to what? 10. So what this means is this, right? As the value of y increases, meaning that when I have what? The first y, let's say value of y, right? We don't know the value of y. So when x is equal to what? 0, what will be the value of y? What will be the value of y? So let's do it together. We have our function, our relation is what? Y equal to ab raised to the power of what? X. So y here is equal to ab to the power of what? 0, right? So that means you discover that we have what? 1 here. So when x is equal to 0, y is equal to what? Y will be what? 10. Y will be 10, because I said a is equal to what? 10, and b is this, right? So that means when x is equal to 0, y is 10. So now this is 0 and y is already 10. So that means if I say when x is what? 1, that means there's a possibility that this is going to increase. This is going to increase. So it then means that when the value of x is increasing, the value of y is also increasing. So let's go back to the option and look at it. The question, the option reads that as x increases, y increases at an increased rate. Okay, this one says as x increases, y increases at a decreasing rate. This one said as x increases, y decreases at an increasing rate. And finally, as x increases, y decreases at a decreasing rate. Now, this is the right option because of what we just saw here, that when you fix 0, you get exactly 10. And when you fix 1, it becomes more than 10 because... So this is it. Now, finally, the last question. And we are done with this. The question reads that the formula, this is for geometry, the formula gives the volume V of a rectangular prism with L. The formula gives the volume V of a rectangular prism with length L, width W, and height H. What is the volume in cubic feet of the rectangular prism that is 6 feet long? Now, let me write them out as well as I'm reading. So we have this one said the volume in this of a rectangular prism and 6 feet long. So that means the length. So length L is what? 6. 4 feet wide. That means W is equal to what? 4. And 1 foot tall. 1 foot tall. That is height is equal to what? 1. So all we need to do is what? Our volume is equal to what? Length times width times height. which if you multiply, you have, this is 6 times 4 times 1, and is equal to 24. So you can see this is our answer. Thank you guys. See you in the next one.